Working on ourselves is not selfish or narcissistic. It's actually very healthy and a fundamental requirement if we're looking to find more peace, love, and joy in our lives. It helps us to become the best version of ourselves so that we can bring the best of ourselves to others, to our relationships and work commitments, and it enables us to simply be healthier in an integral way. Working on ourselves is something which life calls for all of us to do at some point, and the current transit of Saturn moving through Aries makes this one of those times. Saturn moved into Aries in February 2026 and will continue to move through that sign until April 2028. And we may have already started noticing the themes of this transit. Saturn is the structure of our consciousness. It's the planet which energizes things like responsibility, character, work, integrity, consistency, discipline, and all of the emotional drivers and forces which make up the constitution of who and what we are, to form the structure of our consciousness as we understand it. Aries is the sign of the self which takes up space in the world. It's our agency. It's self-discovery of who we are and why we're here. It's how we present ourselves and appear to others. And it's the sign of initiation, action, and drive. It's our will acting on our instincts. And when those two forces collide, we have a recipe for self-development that can maybe feel like we're being forced to eat. Saturn in Aries can have us swallowing some sobering truths about ourselves that we did not realise up until this point. It can also have us feasting on levelling up that we may have not realised was a capability until now. It can give us the impetus to dig deep into our inner resources and force us to take ownership of the qualities that we've maybe kept hidden away. And it can just as much make us realise through deep reflection the mistakes that we may have made in the past. But mistakes are beautiful because what they really are discoveries. I like to call them discoveries rather than mistakes because we only ever learn by making mistakes, and we don't know at the time that we are making a mistake, and that's because we're just doing the best that we can with what we know how. Mistakes are necessary refining processes. They're an opportunity to reflect on what we did, how we did it, and how we can do it better next time. By finding out the consequences of our actions, we can refine those actions, and because we discover a way of refining our process, that timing realigns us with better opportunities and better outcomes. Self-reflection then and self-discipline are prominent themes when Saturn moves through Aries because it's a reset point. The point where we're called to make a stand and get to work on becoming a better version of who we were before. And this is why it can feel uncomfortable when we're so used to doing things in a certain way or having different beliefs, only to realise that maybe we are the ones who may have been wrong. Or maybe we're the ones who need to adjust. Or we're the ones who need to step up and lead rather than put our lives into the hands of others. Saturn is the planet of hindsight, and things are not always apparent to us at the time. And sometimes this is out of our control, because we must experience life before we can mentally process it and understand it. And because Saturn energizes introspection, we may have a lot of insights coming into our consciousness during this time, as we process how we did things before versus how we're called to do things from now on. Saturn in Aries then can energize us with the will to set new goals, to focus on the end result and to consistently put the effort in until we see our vision come to fruition in reality. But it's not a quick process. It takes time. especially during the times that we can't be bothered to show up, or maybe finding it similar to Groundhog Day. But making our vision a reality doesn't just happen. We have to take ownership and lead ourselves there with courage and consistency. So, if we've been used to outsourcing responsibility to other authorities up until now, that can feel highly daunting, because a lot of those authorities that we gave our power away to are no longer there. Either because we have realised that we were giving our power away, or because they've collapsed as a result of this new timeline that we've been stepping into over the last few years. It could be anything. It could be medical authorities who have given us health advice which has not worked for us, and we now realise that we must take ownership of looking after our own health. It could be relationships that have or are collapsing because we realise that we're no longer on the same page. It could be jobs that no longer work for us because we realise that we're being taken advantage of, or we've been made redundant. And it will be different for each and every one of us. But if it's something that we know we have to do because the old structure no longer works for us or is no longer there, then Saturn in Aries will provide us with the energy to push through any obstacles or fears that we may face. Naturally then, we may feel moments of anxiousness and self-doubt, and this can simultaneously be met with an inner knowing that we have to do it this time. We can have a deep sense of understanding how we may have gone wrong previously, and that if we want it to be different this time, then it's up to us to put the effort in. What we ultimately learn with Saturn in Aries is that actions have consequences, and sometimes not taking action also has consequences. We learn that we ourselves are responsible for our lives and for building and creating our reality through consistent discipline. Everything is energy, and whatever we energise, we get more of. If we feed negativity, toxicity, and avoidance, that is what becomes our reality. Likewise, if we feed our energy into positive endeavours, that too is something which we will get more of. Saturn in Aries is the 0 point, the point where we start again from fresh, with brand new opportunity. And because this is an entirely new cycle, there may be moments of hesitancy and uncertainty, because we're carrying deep realisations about ourselves as we move forward, as well as working through the release of old outmoded patterns of behaviour which no longer serve us, while we discover new ways of doing things. It's a whole new path that we're walking, and each step that we now take is a building block for the foundation of where we would like our lives to go. For many of us, it's brand new territory. We're literally discovering the path as we move forward. So we can all forgive ourselves for maybe feeling tentative at times or afraid, which is completely natural. But what Saturn in Aries wants us to do is to do it anyway and to move forward. Those feelings and emotions that may come up for us, we should honour them whenever they arise and feel them deeply. But we have to feel them while we're taking step after brand new step. And we won't always immediately see the results of our labour, because timing is relative. We have to earn our payouts. And Saturn in Aries is a time when we have to put in the hard effort to lay the foundational path. The payouts will come later, when our time is right. Saturn in Aries is the time to step up and take responsibility through cultivating self-discipline. Because the world that we see when we look out through our eyes is relative to the world inside us. And we each have the inner resources to make that vision a more beautiful one.